Hey everybody, welcome to the Private Club Radio Show podcast, the industry's choice for news, trends, updates, and conversations all in the world of private golf and country clubs. Whether you are brand new to the industry or a consummate professional, welcome. We are glad you are here. I'm your host, Denny Corby. Welcome. This is the show where we go over any and all topics related to private golf and country clubs. I am chatting with Anna Robleski, the assistant manager at Round Hill Club in Connecticut. Her and I met at the Creative Summit, Ben Lorenzin's amazing Creative Summit that they have. Her and I clicked, had really great conversations over the past couple days and kept in touch. We saw each other at a couple CMAA events as well. But what I really liked and enjoyed talking about is with her is the importance of scholarships and opportunities and taking advantage of opportunities and scholarships, because there are so many resources, there are so many things available for young professionals in the industry to take a part of, to take action on, to use, to take. And I just don't think enough people are going after it. And so I'm really excited that she's on here talking about that. And what we also connected on and talked about is the parallels between scuba diving and club management. She's a scuba diver, much better than me. I like to dabble in scuba diving a little bit, but we have a great talk about scuba diving, on management, and really in how all of that leads to making sure that you're prepared, staying calm, and being able to adapt to unexpected situations, which there is one that Anna talks about in our episode that happened with her. So it's a really cool, really great episode. Can't wait for you all to listen in. So Private Club Radio listeners, let's welcome to the show the assistant manager of the Round Hill Club, Anna Robleski. Did you always know you were going to be in clubs, or was clubs like a
So clubs were kind of a novelty to me. So I grew up around catering, and my dad and uncles owned a deli and catering business. So I was always attracted to the kitchen. And then early high school, I just was like, oh, I'm going to be a chef, and I want to go to Johnson & Wales. So I went to Johnson & Wales, double majored in culinary arts and pastry arts, and went on to get my food service management bachelor's, and then landed in clubs, surprisingly, after I just hated being in the kitchen as a pastry chef in a restaurant. But while in school, I had the opportunity to work the 2018 Augusta National Masters Tournament. So a professor had kicked my butt to go do that, and then kind of experienced how special clubs were there. And then when I wasn't happy in restaurants, I reached out to an alumni of Johnson & Wales. I was like, hey, how do I get into clubs? How do I do this? What are you doing? And he was leaving Ballantyne Country Club in South Charlotte, and he was like, why don't you take my job? And I was like, okay. So he had set it up for me to interview at Ballantyne, and it just all fell into place. I knew I wanted to get into events, so I really got my footing there. We were pumping out like 25, 26 weddings a year, and really just fell in love with it.
That's a lot of weddings. That's a lot of brides.
Yeah, a lot. So really just learned to love it quickly. And then just COVID hit, and just the quarantining piece of being by yourself isn't too fun. And I grew up on Long Island, and my family never left. So I was like, I think I need to be closer to home. So I just kind of started looking from the Boston to kind of DC area in that radius, and landed in Greenwich here at Round Hill Club by coincidence. And now I'm an hour door to door to my family. It's that kind of perfect distance that I have my own life and kind of my own thing, but can get home in an hour, go have dinner with my parents or my sister and nephew, and just really have that sense of family back into my life.
I think what's nice is that 2-hour radius from people, because then it's just that long enough where it gives you that opportunity to leave, where you don't have to stay. No, I gotta get home.
Exactly.
Get home. Sorry, can't stay.
It's nice to not have to be on top of each other, and I have such a respect for my hometown and upbringing, but it's nice to kind of have something different now as an adult.
Yeah. What was it? What were you doing for Chobani?
So I worked with a crew from Johnson & Wales at Chobani Yogurt, and we were just doing events really. So 3-4 times a year I would travel with them and go to large food shows like National Restaurant Association
Oh, that's cool.
food show in Chicago, or Natural Food Expo West in LA, and just kind of showcase the product and get to meet and talk to people, and kind of use the product in creative ways. And that was a lot of fun, just networking with other Johnston Wales alumni, and getting to see a different side of the food and beverage and event world.
Any of that stuff has that translated back over into clubs at all for you?
Just
Any
being
stuff that you may have
creative with
learned
product
from?
and getting out of the box, really. Uh, that provided an opportunity to see some of like cutting edge technology and product, just because of the showcases themselves. And now it's cool to see back of house, and it's also cool, with being a retail product. They were always on their social media game and that sort of thing, and always trying to be a little bit trendy. How can we catch people's eyes? And that has translated over as well of how can you showcase product in this appealing way.
Yeah. And you've done quite a bit in a short amount of time. What's it like going from, I'd say fairly quick food and beverage to assistant food and beverage to now an AGM? What's that sort of journey been like? And maybe what are some things that maybe you wish you would have known or learned earlier?
So we have a lot of assistants here at Round Hill. So we have an assistant general manager, and I'm just an assistant manager. So we have some broad titles, just because the titles piece to us really doesn't mean all that much. We all kind of just have our different kind of day to days and keeping the pieces together. But kind of the quick growth, it was just a hunger to keep learning, and experience different things and be able to kind of better myself, but also like be better each day. So at the end of each day, I walk home living here on property at Round Hill. So on my walk, I kind of just reflect of like, what did I do well today? What can I do better tomorrow? How was I a good manager today and leader? How can I be better tomorrow? And then after a while, that all just kind of adds up, and you can kind of progress pretty quickly. And having this self-awareness of where you're at and where you're wanting to learn and develop definitely helps with that case.
It's 2024, and it's time to change the way you vet your new members. Some traditions are worth modifying. The new member process hasn't changed really in the past 150 years, relying almost solely on social relationships and casual interactions, but lacking in factual data. And this is where Kennis comes in, because the traditional application process tells you very little about someone's behaviors and character until now. Kennis has created an innovative and confidential, comprehensive applicant information gathering process that provides an unrivaled depth of information. The world of member vetting has evolved to a new standard, and Kennis is your turnkey solution to meet this new industry best practice. You can rely on Kennis to provide the facts that you need to make fully educated member decisions, because what you don't know can hurt your club and your members. To learn a little bit more or to set up a call, head on over to membervetting.com, fill out the form. You're going to have a chat with Paul Dank. It's going to be good. He's a great guy. Also, be sure to check out our episodes of Member Vetting here on Private Club. If you're looking for a way for your club to help attract the right members, stand out from the crowds, and you don't want to advertise, but you want more exposure in the marketplace, then you need to check out Golf Life Navigators. They are the only resource that helps golfers discover, experience, and ultimately secure their ideal club membership and golf community home. They're experts at connecting your club with people who will truly appreciate what you have to offer. It's like eHarmony meets Zillow for golfers. If you're interested in learning more, head on over to golflifenavigators.com. Because we've known each other on and off, not on, but we've known each other for a few years just through the circles and stuff. And then we saw each other at the Creative Summit, which was a ton of fun. Because that's a unique thing to go to, and to have your clubs support, I think, is a whole different thing. Because there's one thing to support someone going to a CMAA or an NCA, but it's a creative summit. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, you've been progressive, you've been, wanting to do better, be better. Was this something that you brought up to your club and they were all about it? Was this something you kind of had to fight for a little bit and say hey, no, this is stuff that we need? What was that sort of journey like? Because I think so many people have, they have amazing clubs where sometimes they're hesitant, or they have to fight for some things. Other times there's amazing clubs where the board, gets it and they're like, hey, yes, this sounds great. Go learn how to make us better. What was it like for you?
So you definitely have some valid points of you have to sell it a little bit going to something like Ben's Creative Summit. And I know they just wrapped up this year's. So anyone who's attended a Creative Summit or knows Ben knows it's a little bit wacky out of the box, and Champions does its own thing, and kudos to them because they crush it over there. Um, but that being said, if anyone knows the area of Greenwich, Connecticut, it's very old school. But that being said, it's changing just a bit where the classic golf club isn't just for dad who's the golfer and he's going to go play his round and maybe you'll eat dinner with him once or twice a week at the club. Mom and kids are really becoming a heavy hitter here at the club, and we're needing to keep up with that because happy wife, happy life, and like you keep your kids happy and you can keep playing golf and enjoy your time at the club. So there were some things that we needed to do to progress that side of things, and having kids want to come to the club and have fun and just really bringing this old school Greenwich club up to kind of par here of what a club should be in the modern day, of just being fun for everyone and just being this lighthearted place where you go to in your downtime, and really just enjoyable for whoever does join us here for the day at the club. So the Creative Summit definitely aided in us that of just kind of elevating some of our casual activities here poolside and with some of our family events.
So was the club on board? Did you have to fight for it a little bit? What was that? What was it like? Was it like
It took a moment
get
of
to?
selling, but it wasn't too hard of a sell. It was, how is this going to benefit us and where were we
Yeah.
taking it? And I think I had a kind of good enough stance here at the club that if I was asking for something, it wasn't coming completely out of left field.
Yeah, I gotcha. No, that was one of my questions. I was like, oh, because I knew like in the area you're at. So I was like, oh, I wonder if it was like a little battle. I wonder if it was like, oh man, this is gonna be, board's gonna be scrutinizing for it. You've utilized scholarships quite a bit, yeah.
I have.
I
So
feel like
CMA
oh, go
really
ahead. Sorry.
has a lot of opportunity for scholarship, and it's been beneficial thus far. I try to take advantage as much as I can just to kind of benefit myself and then the club. So my previous club didn't have too large of a scholarship budget. So the first time I went to World Conference was on a scholarship from the Carolinas chapter. And then recently, while being at Round Hill and part of the Connecticut chapter, I tapped in sort of to the whole kind of nationwide club foundation and was able to obtain the Kendall Scholarship, which pays for all of your BMIs and then your certification exam. So can't really complain about that one. So it's been great to utilize that, and tap into those funds there because CMA is really just giving away money. And sure, your club may pay for things, but you can really stretch that and do some other fun things, with your own education budget when you utilize some of CMA's kind of opportunities. So I was able to do a BMI, World Conference, and then a couple other kind of just novelty education trips. Like I went on a field trip with some members out to Willamette Valley and did some wine education out there this year, which was a ton of fun. So can't complain about that one of being able to really go on a couple different work trips and to some fun places at that as well.
Yeah. It's like one of those. It's like there's opportunities where you look for them, and
Exactly.
it's like one of those. Like the more I'm just learning and stuff as well. It's like, oh my goodness, there are so many opportunities for things, and sometimes it might not be the easiest way or like whatever, but like if you really want to get something done or find something or learn something or get there, like you could find a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any lessons that you've learned from scuba diving that you can translate into management?
So scuba diving, like anything, is all in the preparation. I recently was in Hawaii, actually 2 weeks ago, and one of my friends who's in the hotel world is a certified diver as well. And we were going down on a dive, and she actually lost her weights on her descent down. So she just looked at me kind of panicked-eyed. I was like, "Are those your weights?" Like, looked at her, and you could just see this kind of like buggy-eyed look, and you could see her chest like starting to go a little bit. I like looked at her, and I was like, "Make eye contact." I was like, it's okay. I took her hands, put them on my vest. We grabbed the weights, and like, it's all just about staying calm. I got her weights back in her vest. She figured out her buoyancy again. We were good to go. So definitely see that kind of mentality transferring over into clubs of like, sure, we maybe missed something on our buddy check up on the boat, and it happens. Events and things in the club world don't always exactly go to plan, and it's just about staying calm in the moment and adapting and overcoming and looking to your team and who's on like ready to go and paying attention and moving forward and ready to have a successful event, or in this case a successful dive, and just really being able to take a moment, get everyone's feedback on the floor, calm down, and get like everything that we need to accomplish or get a problem fixed or everything back on track, and then move forward for a successful event or a successful dive. So it really does coincide with each other, just being completely opposite ends of the world really here, events to diving. But conceptually, it matches up for sure of just prep, stay calm, and move forward with things. But that's really the big thing. But at that point, you buckle up and you see some cool things down there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. Really
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Denny.
Hope you all enjoyed that episode. I know I did. If you're enjoying the content, like, share, subscribe. That's this episode. Until next time, catch you on the flippity flip.